Here's one common myth about screen time that a lot of people fall for, and that is that if it is some sort of slower, calmer piece of media like animals in nature or rain falling or some one of those beautiful nature stills, that it doesn't really do anything to your baby's brain. And it is not true. While yes, it is a lot better than horrible shows like Coco Melon that is like cocaine for the brain. It's still, at the end of the day, visual and cognitive load for your child to be processing. And at the end of the day, it also thinking about the developing brain between ages 0 to 3 really needs relationship building, bonding, and interaction with their primary caregivers and those, who are in their lives. And so sitting them in front of a screen, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time, what you're doing is you're actually creating a routine, first of all, for you to get comfortable with them being in front of a screen, but also at the end of the day, developmentally, they are still sitting there absorbing, what is happening behind all of those pixels, right? And it's still a lot of input for their tiny little brains to understand, because every time a scene is switching, there is still so much information being thrown at them, different colors, different things happening, that their little working memory box in their brain is trying to store the bits of data, right, and make sense of it. And that's why as your child grows into ages 2, 3, 4, we see children being super irritable, having a harder time getting back to play after screen time, because they basically have been overloaded. The cognitive overload is huge. And so that's something to be really cognizant of when you're making the decision to put your child in front of a screen, right? Is what is it doing to their brain? And so thinking about that cognitive load, that visual load, it's as if you're trying to read a book and there's a disco, party happening behind it. There's so much happening for their little brains to try to register and make sense of, right? And so that's why we see children who tend to watch more and spend more time in front of a screen, especially when it comes to shows that are just terrible, like Coco Melon. I will forever be, on that hill against Coco Melon, and other fast-paced shows like that. It can really cause a lot of behavioral challenges and other issues later on. So anyways, follow for more tips like this and other myths debunked.